and that's changed. That's the shirt that you're representing, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about changed.
Changed was another surprise. It's fascinating how the Lord will take something that I think that the enemy meant for harm, and he'll work it for good. And that's what changed is. That's how change happened. But in 2018, there was a law or a bill that was being proposed in the California legislature, and it would have made illegal any form of counseling or ministry, even resources. So even things like books or conferences would have been illegal if it was suggesting that there could be any change that a person could experience in their sexual orientation.
Wow.
And of course, we know that in that it was okay if you headed in a direction of homosexuality, but if you were suggesting that there might be any pathway out of homosexuality, then that would have been declared illegal, even books and conferences. And so, of course, anybody that has had a testimony like mine of having the Lord having led you out of that, and you have enough change in your own experience of your identity and sexuality that now you do have feelings for the opposite sex. We've been married for 14 years, have 4 kids, and so I'm like, I hear these laws, and I'm like, this is not okay. First of all, from a sense of the government saying you may not pursue something, you may not. I mean, pursuit of happiness. I mean, I found I was not happy as someone confused about my sexual identity or dominated by same-sex attraction. That was not a happy place for me. So I'm like, first of all, the government doesn't have any right in saying that I may not feel a certain way or pursue an identity. It's okay if I want to pursue heterosexuality, I should have that right. And then, so we headed that direction with it and ended up testifying in government hearings. So like there would be like 2 people testifying, for the bill and 2 people opposing the bill, with all these, assembly people or Congress people sitting around you in this boardroom. And all of a sudden I'm telling everyone things that I promised myself I would never tell anyone in a court hearing. And wow. And then we watched, though, as we would share our testimonies, and it would not really be received, which of course these people don't know me. They don't know my character or anything like that. And so we said to each other, we need a book of testimonies. And so we started reaching out, put together this book of 37 testimonies at the time.
In like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was
from start to finish. It was published,
from the time it was submitted to the publisher, it was like probably 2 or 3 weeks, and a couple of weeks later we had the books in our hands. But it caused a stir, and we decided, we need to go at the next hearing. We need to go and rally on the Capitol steps and just declare our testimonies. And so we all of a sudden, these people got on airplanes, paid their own way. People like me that have a testimony like mine got on airplanes, flew to California to stand on the Capitol steps with us.
How many were there?
There were over 30.
Mm-hmm.
And just we did 2.5 hours worth of 5-minute testimonies on the Capitol steps. And we had senators come out and watch. We had local NBC and different Christian outlets that were covering parts of the event. And it caused this stir because it turns out there's people all over the world with these. I mean, this is not exactly the testimony that you're encouraged to go public with, right? I mean,
yeah.
If there are people like me out there, they probably haven't declared it anywhere, because why do that? It's like, if you find resolution, you move on, you go build a family, and you go on with your life. You don't broadcast it on a billboard. But because of this bill, we had to. And so now there's this movement of people. We have a closed Facebook group just to keep people protected that's growing. It's over 2,000 people and growing rapidly, where, we're just encouraging each other and helping each other really have the courage to stand up in this hour and say, I didn't plan on sharing this testimony publicly, but for multiple reasons, I'm letting the world know that God does, God does change people. It's kind of the nature of the gospel is transformation, right? I mean, the Lord changes us in all kinds of ways. So that's how it began, and it's still going, and it's a whole lot of fun just to see the stories of what the Lord's done in people's lives.